Hey guys, this is Maniac, and I'm going to present to you today a deck which I wanted to genuinely present to you guys, like, yeah, long before, namely the character deck profile of Joey Wheeler and the orichalcos arc. Now, Joey, of course, one of the main companions of Yugi and his team, possessing one of the three legendary dragons, namely Hermes, and it's also the main lineup of his deck is based around this legendary dragon, not this one, but there's Hermes. I'll show you guys in a second. There we go. The Claw of Hermes. There you go. This is the main card on which is the most essential strategy of Joey Wheeler is based around on the fundamental essentials of his deck into this arc, like the other two as well. Have one of the legendary dragons in their deck, and profound tactics is based around it and outlined around this card solely. But, and as I have to admit it, you get to know also a couple of other new monster cards from Joey Wheeler, which he hadn't in the previous arcs, which he added to his deck very recently, you might say. Let's dive into it, I would say, without further ado. One other card which is really like new to that very arc and is very central, and the key card of this deck is the Red Eyes Black Metal Dragon. There you go. And a second, you might even, I would put it even that way, that he had many possible mechanics into that arc. For example, the Gearfried mechanics, which is based around Gearfried, the Swordmaster, which tells the tale from Gearfried being an Iron Knight, being originally a knight that is stuck into that iron armor which he is in. I have to show you, of course, Gearfried is also in that deck. I have to search for it, just a sec. There we go. So you might say this is one lineup. One is about right around the Claw of Hermes, and one is based around Red Eyes Black Dragon, which is also central, of course. There we go. Now these and the Hermes card, like I showed you before, are very central into that deck. So you might say these are the main strategies and lineups which are important into that very era. Yeah, and then we get to know a couple of other cards too. Especially these two cards are combined with Hermes, but also others. So yeah, Hermes is a key card for itself. Then let's go further. We have also a Guilford, the Iron Knight, of course. Guilford the Lightning, of course. I have it on me a second time, so I put Guilford the Legend in it. But you might imagine he had Guilford the Lightning as well. Then one card which was of course very practical in order to defend himself against my Valentine in the, I think, his very first duel, as he was played against the wall, you might say, as a good trump card. He could play out in its first appearance into that arc as the Fiend Mega Cyber, which works that way. If you have an effect, if your opponent has 2 or more monsters than you, then you can just special summon this card onto the field. This card has 1 tribute and 2200 attack, 1200 defense. I have also, of course, to mention, Red Black Dragon, of course, has 2400 attack, 2000 defense, and the Red Eyes Black Metal Dragon has 2800 attack and 2004 defense. And I think it works like that you have to special summon it first by equipping Red Eyes Black Dragon with Metal Morph, a card which regularly Bandit Keith used, but other duels as well. Then Gearfried, you have to, in order to put the Gearfried the Swordmaster onto the field, you have to have Gearfried the Iron Knight, I think, and the spell card, which is called Befreiung in Germany, but I'm not sure what it is called in English. I had it on my mind, but I did forget it. And then if this card is then finally on the field, you can equip it with an equipped, or if you equip it with an equipped spell card, it has the ability to destroy 1 monster on the field, I think. Yeah. So the very spell card I was talking about was this one. I think it's called Outburst in English, but I'm not sure. Yeah, but it's just the key spell card to on the purpose of releasing the Gearfried the Swordmaster, or unleashing it onto the field. So, yeah. Furthermore, we have of course Jinzo, one of his, after my opinion at least, very most handy cards. Practical in every situation. It requires just 1 tribute. So if you have it, then you can spell it out or bring it out, and then you have, of course, the ability to blockade off all the opponent's trap cards. But yeah, on the other side, of course, your own as well. Then another new card which was introduced into that very era is the Cyber Tech Alligator. A card with 2500 attack and 1600 defense, 1 tribute as well. A machine type monster, like Jinzo also. Then, of course, one of his very iconic cards, you might say, is the Panther Warrior, which has, of course, the effect you have to tribute 1 monster in order to declare an attack. Then, and of course, as Flame Swordsman is one of the significant cards of Joey Wheeler, we get to know another, you might say, descendant of the Flame Swordsman, which is called Blue Flame Swordsman. And it is a 4-star effect monster, warrior type, fire attribute. Once per turn, you can, during the battle phase of each player, you can another warrior type monster which you control currently. Choose let this card lose 600 attack, and the warrior type monster gets 600 attack from this card. And if this card you control, namely the Blue Flame Swordsman, due to effect or battle from another monster has been destroyed and put on the graveyard, you can banish it from the graveyard and then put one fire warrior type monster from your graveyard and special summon on the field, so it works of course with the flame swordsman. Very good. So you see, there are very many monster cards having a new commencement, but there are also older ones like Rocket Warrior, of course, like, you know, no 1500 effect and attack and 1300 defense, and the effect works with, I think, decreasing. This card cannot be destroyed by battle, and also you take no damage from the battles involving this card. If this card attacks a monster, it decreases after damage calculation the attack stats from the monster for 500 attacks. Attack. And of course, a very essential key card from Joey Wheeler's deck always, the Time Wizard, one of my personal favorite of all monster cards. Then of course, also very iconic, the Alligator Sword, Baby Dragon. I don't have too much to explain about them. Bell Warrior, Swordsman of Landstar, and Little Wingard. But also to the Swordsman of Landstar, there's a coming another descendant and introduced to that arc, I think, which is Comrade's Lord of Swordsman of Landstar, and has the effect. It's a tuner, warrior type monster with the same attack and defense stats as Swordsman of Landstar, and it has the effect every warrior type monster which you control gets 400 attack points. And then further on, and I think it is also introduced into that very segment as the marauding captain, which Joey plays out the first time. Yeah, it has very good cunning effect. If you summon it successfully normal summon it on the field, you can special summon one 4-star monster with one monster with 4 stars or fewer, I think. Yeah, and you cannot, your opponent cannot choose another warrior type monster except this one for an attack. Then further on, and yeah, a good possibility to make a combination with this, with the marauding captain is, of course, Goblin attack force. And I have to add that information that marauding captain was first played out by Gurimo, the former monk and one of the companions of the leading group of darts. Yeah, Goblin attack force, of course, 2300 attack, 0 defense. With 4 stars, if you attack, you have to put it into defense mode until the end of your opponent's next end phase. So yeah, it has an upside, very strong attack stats, but also the downside by cannot change his battle position after just 2 rounds, about 2 rounds, and with 0 defense, it's no good defense possibility and option. Then another card which is very practical as a trump card is Fiber Jar, which also is first coming out into that very area and section of the orichalcos stacks, you might say, yeah. And further on, it has the effect to if your opponent, it's a flip effect. If your opponent attacks it, then you and your opponent have to get all your hand cards, field cards, and the graveyard cards and put it into the deck. Shuffle the decks and then draw again 5 cards. It's one of the main reason why it is banned in the current meta game. But I might imagine one day it might come out, maybe limited in one. I think it's a very cool, convenient trump card for every player who's a little bit played against the wall or doesn't have any good hand cards or life points. Yeah. Yeah, after that, also a good trump card, after my opinion, is the Necromani King, which you might say, oh, 0 attack and 0 defense. It's not good, but it has very cool effect. If it's destroyed by an effect, by a spell or a trap card, then the battle phase ends immediately. And he used it in order to slow down Mai's approach and offensive against him, as he first of all didn't defend himself rightfully, and then he had not that much of life points left, and he was stalling first of all, and that was one of the many cards which he used in order to stall a little bit the game. Then two cards which are also very significant into that arc is Lord of the Red and Paladin of the Black Dragon, which is a combination of ritual card which works with Red Eyes Black Dragon, and of course a ritual spell card. And the Lord of Red, I think, works with also a ritual card which he uses against Velen. Velen has main monsters are not monster cards, but cards which he uses as an armor and shield. And this card symbolizes not only, as a matter of fact, Joey Wheeler in a suit, as well, and then is with his shield and armor cards, of course. Yeah, both of them have, I would even say, good, significant attack stats. The Paladin of the Red Dragon has 1,900, so we might compare it to the Paladin of the White Dragon, which also has 1,900 attack, and the Lord of Red has 2,400 attack and 2,100 defense. But even more logical and practical are their effects. Namely, the Paladin of the Red Dragon has the effect that if it's attacking a monster in defense position, it is destroyed immediately before applying the damage step. And if you tribute the Paladin of the Red Dragon, then you can special summon one Red Eyes monster card, like Red Eyes Black Dragon or Red Eyes, all of the Red Eyes Black Metal Dragon, of course. Yeah, and you can this is just a once per turn effect. Then further on, we have the effect of the Lord of the Red, which works like that. You can choose one monster on the field at each player's face, except for Lord of the Red. You can destroy it once per turn. During the turn of each player, you can if one card or effect is activated, except for this card, you can choose one spell or trap card on the field and destroy it. So very, very handy, cunning effects. This was all of his monster lineup. He didn't possess any legendary fisherman, neither legendary fisherman nor insect queen. They were not shown in his deck, in his hand, but also not in his deck list on the internet, so I thought he put them out. I think even in the next arc they are not mentioned anymore, so he has them maybe in his side deck. But like I said, this was the monster lineup, and now we'll go further from the monster cards away and diving directly to his spell cards. Yeah, we had a polymerization in order, of course, to put his, where is it, central claw of Hermes into the game with a monster card, for example, which I will come to later, of course, and explain it to you then. Reinforcement of the army he played out in order to get one of his many 4-star or fewer warrior type monsters into his hand from his deck. Then, of course, as I said, I think it's called Burst, Outburst, something like that, in order to special summon the Gearfree, the Swordmaster. Then the ritual card of the Lord of Red, Transmigration of the Red Eyes. Yeah, or there, okay. Then, of course, and as a good defense measure, Scapegoats, goats. There we go. I think he possessed Pot of Greed, but as I just lack so many Pot of Greeds for so many decks, I just put in there Pot of Duality. Then, of course, one other significant card for Joey Wheeler, which was, of course, Graceful Dice. And you know, of course, that you have to have a dice, of course, and then no matter which number it shows, the monster you choose increases its attack stats per number which you choose per 100. The warrior returning alive, another supportive card for his many warrior type monsters which he had. You can return one of your warrior type monsters from the graveyard to your hand. And 3 support cards which I'm not sure whether they were played out from him or he had it just in his possible deck list. But they all are working with the Red Eyes Black Dragon, so we have card of the Red Stone, which works like that. We can put one Red Eyes monster with level 7 from your hand to the graveyard, and then draw one card. So yeah, possibility for drawing, increasing your drawing power. Then you can put one Red Eyes monster from your deck to the graveyard. So yeah, it might be also in good combination with, for example, Monster Reborn, which I did lag as well, so you might imagine he had it also in here. Then I have, of course, the spell card Red Eyes Fusion, which also works good with the Red Eyes monster in combination, for example, with the Claw of Hermes. Yeah, you can special summon or fusion summon one Red Eyes monster with another card. You can fusion summon one Red Eyes monster, which you can take the material for the Red Eyes fusion monster from your deck, from your field, and they become then the Red Eyes Black Dragon, or the monster you special summon becomes Red Eyes Black Dragon. And the downside, you cannot normal special summon any other monsters in that very round that you use this card. Then Dragon Odem of the Inferno works like that. You can choose one open Red Eyes Black Dragon, which you control, and put effect damage equal to his attack stats onto your opponent. But the red-eyed black dragon, which you control, cannot attack the very round. So it also works with the red-eyed black dragon. Now also that was onto his spell cards, and then we now reaching out for his trap cards. Trap cards, as I had as last card, the graceful dice. Now of course the skull dice, which works not with increasing the stats, attack stats of a monster, but decreasing it. You have of course to have a dice, and then the number you get, you have to multiply with 100, and that's the number that the monster can choose a monster and then decrease the monster's attack stats with that number. And then, as I already called it, Metal Morph, which of course works with the red-eyed black metal dragon. You have to fusion summon this trap card with a red-eyed black dragon in order to get this one out. And then I think it's called Elegant Metal Morph, which has of course the ability, like Metal Morph, to increase the attack stats of a monster from type machine by 500, and it has also the possibility option to negate one spell card effect, which chooses one of your machine type monsters as a target. Then one of his classic trap cards, Kunai with Chain. I won't explain these ones because you might know it. Grave Robber, Magical Arm Shield, and two new cards which are introduced. You also, all of you might know how the Magical Arm Shield works. And then we have the double Magical Arm Shield introduced into the arc, which works like that. You have to attribute 2 monsters, and then you can choose 2 monsters which your opponent controls, and control until the end phase both targets. Then also a new trap card introduced in the era was Drop Off. No matter which card your opponent draws, he or she has discarded immediately into the graveyard. And then Red Eyes, I think it is called Red Eyes Ghost or Red Eyes Spirit, I think. Red Eyes Spirit is another trap card which works like that. You have to choose one Red Eyes monster in your graveyard, and you can special summon it onto the field. And one card which I think wasn't in his deck, or wasn't shown, I think. I'm not sure, maybe it was, but I might say it was in the deck list. Red Eyes Teeth with Chain, or Red Eyes Chain, something like that in English. Which works also with Red Eyes monsters that you control, can be equipped with this card, and it can attack twice during each battle phase. And if you can then put this equipped card, trap card, into the graveyard, and then take one effect monster on the field, equip it to that card, and if you do it, the attack and defense stats were becoming equally to the attack and defense stats of the equipped monster you had. Very interesting. Red Eyes Black Chain, or Red Eyes Teeth, I think Teeth with Chain. Yeah, now this was also his trap cards. Now we finished with the trap cards also. And last but not least, I will show you guys the fusion monsters, which were very, very many. And first of all, of course, Alligator Sword Dragon, in combination with a baby dragon and Alligator Sword and baby dragon, of course. Then Thousand Dragon, a combination of the Time Wizard and Baby Dragon. Flames, Swordsman, of course. Yeah. Sorry guys, just put these cards away. Sec. Then we have a couple of cards which were working in the combination with the Claw of Hermes. Namely Red Eyes Black Dragon Sword. You have to special summon, fusion summon this card with Claw of Hermes in combination with a Dragon type monster. It has an effect. Its attack sets are 2,400 attack and 2,000 defense, like the Red Eyes Black Dragon, of course. And it works like that: if this card is special summon, target one other face-up monster on the field, equip this card to it. It gains 1,000 attack and 500 attack and defense for each Dragon type monster on the field in the graveyards. Very, very practical. And then the next one, it has to be special summoned with Claw of Hermes in combination with a Warrior type monster, and cannot be special summoned by fusion summoned by other ways. And its effect is, if this card is special summoned, you can choose another monster on the field, equip it to this card. It can attack twice per your battle phase, and additionally, if a monster in defense position has been attacked by this card, then it causes piercing battle damage, and it's called Hermes Rocket Cannon, which I think in the anime was combined, of course, with Rocket Warrior. Then further on we have the Bow of the Goddess, which works also with, I think, fusioning summoning with the Claw of Hermes and the Warrior type monster. If this card is special summoned, sorry guys, I have to say the stats of the Hermes Rocket Cannon has 1,500 attack and 1,300 defense. So now further. The Bow of the Goddess has 1,500 attack and 1,600 defense, and has the effect: if this card is special summoned, you can choose one open monster on the field, equip it to this card, and as long as this card is equipped with this monster's effect, you can negate the first effect, which is brought on from your opponent in each battle phase, and additionally, the equipped monster card can also attack a second time into the battle phase. Then, last but not least, we have the magical Time Hammer, which works with Claw of Hermes, and of course the Time Wizard, the only spellcaster monster which he has. And if it has 500 attack and 400 defense, and works like that. If this card is special summoned, you can choose another monster on the field, equip it to this card, and in the beginning of the damage step, if it battles with another monster, you can roll a 6-sided dice and put the monster of your opponent onto the next, on the standby phase, of which the dice shows you on the number. You can banish it that many rounds. If your dice, for example, shows in 1 just for 1 round, then if it has in 3, then for 3 rounds, and so further. The last fusion monster. Now, I was very joyful to make that deck profile. I loved it very much. Not liked, even loved it. And I think this deck profile of Joey Wheeler is very cool in comparison, just for itself, but also in comparison to the others, I might say, in this arc. I loved, of course, Yugi's deck profile and kaibas as well, but I think Joey is very has more variety in it. Yeah, and that's what makes it so special to me in this specific era. Now, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hit the like and the subscribe button and stay tuned for more content, as I will be going further on. We are reaching the final deck profiles of this arc, and the saga will be concluded. I think Raphael is the one that we have to do, or I have to do, and put down also, as well as Rex Raptor. And I think from our heroes, from the legendary dragon side, there is no one left anymore. So we have just now the, you might say, sinister character deck profiles, which I have to upload. But like I said, Velen I cannot do because there's not existing one single card from him, and I have to buy the whole deck. Maybe I will put it down somewhere to another time, maybe in a couple of months, I don't know. And dartz deck profile I will be loading up, but also maybe in a couple of months, so very late. These two concluding deck profiles will be for that arc first and foremost. And later on there will be at least coming will be introduced a dartz deck profile very late. I don't know when exactly, so I don't want to spoiler. I cannot spoiler, and I don't want to make a promise. I will promise that much: it will come sometime, but I don't know when. So yeah, I don't tell you a exact date because I don't know it for myself. This for this character deck profile, and I wish you guys a good night, and see you on the next one. You're a Slifer Maniac. Bye!